Welcome to the Royal Victoria Marathon.
We're at the 30th anniversary of the Royal Victoria Marathon with none other than Rod Dixon. And Rod has been a speaker for both the gala and the expo at this event. And Rod, thank you for coming. You are such a legend in the sport. It's really fun to see you here. Tell us a little bit about your impressions of this event.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, first of all, it's such a beautiful city and a beautiful location and just a fantastic environment. And of course, the weather has just been absolutely kind to the runners. I hear the weather's coming in next week, so it really is. When all the athletes have trained for so long, and to get a great day to finish off their event, that's exciting for them.
Well, it is exciting, and I think a lot of them really had fun at the expo, having a chance to listen to you and Bruce Deacon and Dick Beersley talk about your marathon experiences. But I want to point out for viewers who might not know that you're one of the very few people in the world who've run sub 4-minute mile and a sub 2:10 marathon. And how did you make a transition from middle distance to the longest possible?
Well, I don't really know. I think necessity creates demand, and as the younger athletes come on, I sort of realized that I wasn't going to be able to compete with them at the shorter distance, and yet when I moved up a distance, I found that I was pushing out those guys to the bigger. So it evolved really, and I think that the key to it is that I was aerobic trained. I was what we call Lydiard trained, and I think it prepared me for any distance, and I think what we see now with the athletes now running today, that there's much less stress because they are training correctly. The ideas and the philosophies of training have evolved so much that allow runners now to perform better. And I think as I aged, I was able to run faster for longer, and that was, I think, where it all came from.
That's pretty cool. Run faster for longer. We should point out that Arthur Lydiard is from New Zealand, as you are, and so is our buddy Nick Willis. So can we tell Nick Willis that he can look forward to a marathon?
I think it'll be very interesting. I think Nick is starting to feel that his ultimate distance on the track will be 5,000 meters, but a lot of athletes are not able to make that transition from, say, the 5,000, 10,000 all the way through to the marathon. So it'll be interesting. I mean, my great colleague John Walker was, of course, probably history's greatest miler, and John knew that he wanted to run a 5,000, but his longevity in the mile was quite extraordinary, and he never really chose to run anything long, and yet he could still run the distance of a marathon in training, as was Peter Snell, who in the 800 meters still ran 100 miles at weeks. So that, I mean, it gives you the aerobic capacity to do the training.
Well, we had a chance to meet Arthur Lydiard when he was visiting the States. He was in Michigan, and we actually got a chance to talk to him just a month before he passed away. But he really has inspired a lot of people, including the Hanson's Distance Project.
Yes, I think the Lydiard principles of running and training have withstood, I think, just about every analysis that you can imagine. Peter Snell, of course, now is Dr. Professor Peter Snell of human performance and physiology, and if you ask Peter now to what would he do differently, knowing what he does now through human performance, what would he do differently than what he did in training with the Lydiard system, and he will answer you very little. So really, Lydiard's principles were time tested, and when you get the Japanese and the North American, North African, the Australian, New Zealand are still using the basic principles of Lydiardism, it really has stood the test of time. And Lorraine Moller, the great New Zealand marathon runner, Olympic medalist in the women's marathon, she is working with the Lydiard Foundation to bring about the awareness of the integrity of the program. And with modern science and the understanding we do have from human performance, is that we can now lay the Lydiard principles on top of that, and it still hasn't changed greatly in 60 years.
It's really exciting to hear that, and it's also fun to hear you talk about it, because you're the master of the numbers. And so it's pretty terrific to see how things really can continue, and it's been fun to see you speak to the crowds here. You had quite a good crowd yesterday at the expo, and we look forward to see some marathoners cross the line pretty soon.
Yes, well, it's very, very exciting, and I think, you know, runners here know that the principles of training is that you have to train your training and then race your racing.
And then you have another saying that has something to do with finishers always win.
Well, winning is finishing, and finishing is winning.
There you go.
That's what I tell the kids. It's not a first to cross the finish line. If you finish what you start, you are a winner. And really, when we look out here today and people say, I did the best I could today, you have to be a winner.
And you have to see a lot of smiles in the people who finish kind of near the back of the pack too, don't you?
Yes, it really is. I mean, you're looking at here that every person has a story to tell, and how they've changed their lives through running, how they've been friends, and they've been training, and now they come out and have a great performance, and it's very, very exciting.
Thank you very much for sharing your time and your training and all of your ideas with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Terrific.